everybody, today I'm going to be doing my I'm Bad guide for the Darkest Dungeon 2 boss of Denial. What exactly do I mean by I'm Bad guide? Basically, the concept is that if you're not the best at the game and you find that guides aren't helping you too much, or the guides are helping but they don't have the same results that you're seeing that other people are having, then this should make your experience a little bit better and basically be a guide for people who are not necessarily as good at the game. Anyway, I'm Marina, let's get started. Chapter 1, Character Selection. Most people understand that the game starts when you first pick Denial and start getting into the thinking that you might win this time. What you may not notice is that each character have different quirks at the start of the trial. These character quirks are extremely important and can actually dictate whether you'll lose the game before you even start playing a lot of the time. Ideally, you want to have some general knowledge about what each character can do and specialize at. You of course don't want to, say for example, get rid of someone who can stress heal or heal in general, but you might want to swap up some characters you normally play that have quirks that are bad and end up actually just being more of a crutch to beat the game than anything else, especially if you're not confident that you can clear those, since a lot of the time you won't get too much of an opportunity to be able to clear bad quirks, and sometimes you'll just get more bad quirks and it just all spirals from there. Chapter 2, General Tips. Now, many videos will cover general tips like running into thingies on the road, keeping your loathing down with resistance and cultist battles, as well as keeping your flame high by avoiding the academic study and prioritizing assistance encounters to get those little buffs. And that's kind of a summary of what you want to be doing. However, what many don't talk about are important tips that go beyond stuff that you'll most likely learn within the first 10 hours of playing the game, through trial and error. So trying to prioritize Shrines of Reflection is a huge one, since they give you a mastery point which can buff your characters and give you huge advantages. And on top of that, getting you extra moves can diversify your moveset and give you more chances in the trial to succeed. Another thing is to make sure that you're constantly using items and throwing away items you don't need, only hoarding specific items to the end. The biggest waste of space after you get access to better food is rotten food. And honestly, food in general isn't the best thing and you shouldn't prioritize it too much, since usually you'll be able to heal either over time or get items that will also heal you. It's really smart to think about what items do what, and if they're actually going to be useful to you or not, and to throw away the ones that are completely useless or that you don't think are going to be that useful on your runs. The next thing is cultist battles, including the one at the end if you advance twice. They give you mastery points, and again, mastery points are very good. Generally speaking, if you're not confident in beating cultist battles after the second non-tutorial area, it means that you're either too underpowered for the boss or you might not be ready for the boss in general. This is especially true for the 2 cultist battles before Denial that you will have to do no matter what. Making sure you have a lot of mastery points is extremely important, and putting them in the right skills also is important. Going back to quirks, trying to have enough money for hospitals so that you can purge bad quirks is also very important. And like I said earlier, you don't want to come in the game with a lot of bad quirks, or else you'll just be spending all your money at hospitals when you can't be buying stuff at shops. And the final general tip that I have is, and this sounds obvious, but plan out your routes beforehand. You want to aim to get into at least one battle to reduce loathing, as well as one assistance encounter in the middle if possible, so that you can keep your flame up. Also, having money to go to a hospital to purge bad quirks and even get supplies is very good. If you don't get good RNG, it's not the end of the world, but you definitely want to spread out your nodes while focusing around the 3 that I just mentioned to get through the game a lot easier. Also, PS, don't try a layer unless you are 100% confident you're going to beat it. It can definitely be an easy game ender. Chapter 3, Leading Up to Denial. This is a very short chapter, but it might be the most important one. Try to save 2 Glimmer of Hope items, or even more if possible, so that when you get to the end and go against Denial, you can have your flame all the way up, which will especially help when your relationships start falling apart at the end, and reduce your flame also. A second thing is anti-stress items, which are very useful, or running the Jester if you can with the upgraded de-stressing move. The best place to use your Glimmer of Hope is the second cultist battle. Many people don't realize that this is a game changer of an area, and setting up your final battle is extremely important. Lastly, Chapter 4, Denial. So to summarize the Denial fight, Denial has 4 phases, each one triggering when you defeat one of the Shackles of Denial. After each phase, they will heal, so generally you want to focus your damage on one at a time, while debuffing the ones that you won't be touching for a while, if necessary. Try to keep your health up higher and stress lower at the beginning, as Denial will deny you... I swear that wasn't a pun. As Denial will deny you of healing and stress relief, especially towards the end. Don't give up if you lose a character, and keep corpses on the field. Denial may waste time with a couple of attacks on corpses, giving you the edge that you need to defeat it, or at least giving you an extra few turns to do some damage. And lastly, remember that the game is constantly throwing curveballs at you. Don't get too frustrated at failure, for Denial wins most when you don't learn from your experience. And that was my I'm bad at Denial guide. You may not win a smooth victory, but these tips should give you more of a chance to beat the first boss in Darkest Dungeon 2. It took me many tries, but after I started following these tips, I started getting to Denial consistently, and actually, I found that I could pretty much guess whether I was getting to Denial or not right from the get-go. Anyway, if you have any other tips, please leave them in the comments. This has been Marina, signing off. Thank you for watching. I can't believe it. We did it. If you told me someone wasn't gonna die, I would have said bull.